Imagine standing at the edge of a vast open meadow where the wind carries whispers of an ancient wisdom, soft and unhurried. The grasses sway in unison, not resisting the breeze but moving with it, bending without breaking. There is a rhythm here, a quiet knowing that everything is as it should be, even when it feels otherwise. You too are part of this rhythm, though you may not always feel it. The universe, like this meadow, has its own cadence, a flow that is both gentle and unyielding. It asks nothing of you but to release the grip of worry, to let your hands unclench, your shoulders drop, and your heart soften. There is no need to strive, to push, to force. The universe knows what you need. It always has. Consider the way a tree grows. It does not strain against its roots, nor does it demand the sun to shine brighter. It simply reaches quietly and persistently toward the light. It does not question the seasons. It does not resist the fall of its leaves or the bite of winter's frost. It trusts the cycle, knowing that spring will come again, that life will renew itself in its own time. You too are like this tree. Your life unfolds in seasons, each one necessary, each one a part of the whole. You may feel the chill of uncertainty, the ache of loss, or the weight of waiting, but these are not signs of failure. They are simply the natural ebb and flow of existence. Can you rest in this truth? Can you allow yourself to be held by the certainty of the cycle, even when the path ahead is unclear? There is a lake in the mountains, still and silent, its surface a perfect mirror for the sky above. When the wind comes, it ripples, distorting the reflection, but the lake does not resist. It does not cling to the image it once held. It simply allows the water to move, to shift, to settle again in its own time. Your mind too is like this lake. Thoughts and emotions rise and fall, disturbing the calm, but they are not the essence of who you are. They are passing waves, temporary and insubstantial. Beneath them lies a stillness that is always present, always waiting for your return. You do not need to chase the waves or try to smooth them. You only need to remember the stillness beneath. Can you feel it now, even as you read these words? Can you sense the quiet space within you that remains untouched by the noise of the world? The universe is not separate from you. It is not a distant force, indifferent or aloof. It is the very fabric of your being, the essence of your breath, the pulse of your heart. When you feel lost or disconnected, it is not because the universe has abandoned you. It is because you have forgotten your place within it. Like a bird that has flown too far from its nest, you may feel adrift, but the nest is always there, waiting for your return. You are not alone. You have never been alone. The universe holds you, as it holds all things, in a vast and tender embrace. Can you feel it? Can you let yourself be held? Life is not a problem to be solved, nor a race to be won. It is a dance, a melody, a story unfolding in its own time. You are not here to control it, to shape it into something it is not. You are here to live it, to flow with it, to allow it to move through you. There is no need to grasp, to cling, to force. The universe knows what you need. It has always known. Your task is not to figure it out, but to trust it, to surrender to it, to let go of the illusion that you must carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. The weight is not yours to carry. It never was. Imagine a river winding its way through the land. It does not question its course, nor does it struggle against the rocks that block its path. It flows around them, over them, through them, always moving, always finding its way. You too are like this river. Obstacles may arise, but they are not meant to stop you. They are meant to guide you, to shape you, to help you find your way. The river does not resist, it trusts. It knows that it will reach the sea, not because it tries, but because it is its nature to do so. Can you trust in your own nature? Can you allow yourself to flow, to move, to be carried by the current of life? There is a peace that comes when you release the need to control, to manage, to fix. It is not a passive peace, but a deep and abiding one, born of acceptance and trust. It does not mean that life will always be easy or that you will never feel pain. It means that you no longer fight against what is. You no longer see life as an adversary, but as a companion, a teacher, a friend. You begin to see that every moment, no matter how difficult, is a gift, an opportunity to learn, to grow, to become more fully yourself. Can you open your heart to this possibility? Can you let go of the need to know, to understand, to have all the answers? The universe is vast, infinite, beyond comprehension, and yet it is also intimate, close, as near as your own breath. It is in the rustle of the leaves, the warmth of the sun, the quiet of the night. It is in the beat of your heart, the rhythm of your breath, the stillness of your mind. You are not separate from it. You are a part of it, a thread in the tapestry of existence. When you feel lost or alone, remember this. You are not a fragment, adrift in an indifferent void. You are a piece of the whole connected to all that is, held by the same force that moves the stars and shapes the mountains. Can you feel this connection? Can you let it fill you, comfort you, remind you of who you truly are? There is a quiet joy that comes when you stop striving, when you let go of the need to be more, to do more, to have more. It is a joy that does not depend on circumstances, on achievements, on the approval of others. It is a joy that arises from simply being, from existing in harmony with the universe, from knowing that you are enough just as you are. It is a joy that is always available to you, if only you turn toward it, if only you allow yourself to receive it. Can you feel it now, even in the midst of your busy life? Can you let it in? Let it fill you. Let it remind you of the beauty of simply being alive. The universe knows what you need. It always has. It is not your job to figure it out, to plan it, to make it happen. Your job is to trust, to surrender, to let go, to relax into the flow of life, to allow yourself to be carried by the current, to rest in the certainty that you are exactly where you are meant to be. There is no need to struggle, to fight, to force. The universe is not against you. It is for you, always and forever. Can you feel this truth? Can you let it settle into your bones, into your heart, into your soul? Can you let it remind you that you are safe, that you are held, that you are loved? Can you simply relax and let the universe do its work? You sit by the edge of a quiet pond, its surface still as glass, reflecting the sky above. The world around you hums with a gentle rhythm, unhurried, unbothered. The breeze carries the scent of wet earth, and the occasional ripple disturbs the water, only to settle again into perfect calm. You watch this, and something within you stirs. A recognition, perhaps, that this stillness is not foreign to you. It is not something to be sought outside, but something to be remembered within. The universe, vast and infinite, moves with a wisdom that is both ancient and immediate. It knows what you need, even when you do not. And so you are invited to relax, to soften, to let go. Life often feels like a rushing river, carrying you along its currents, tossing you against rocks, pulling you under with its weight. You struggle, you resist, you fight to stay afloat. And yet the river is not your enemy. It is not trying to drown you. It is simply moving as rivers do, following the contours of the earth, shaped by gravity and time. When you struggle against it, you exhaust yourself. When you surrender to its flow, you find that it carries you. The river knows where it is going. It knows the sea is waiting, vast and eternal, ready to receive it. And so, you are invited to trust, not the river, but your own ability to float within it. There is a season for everything, the sages say. Spring brings new life, tender shoots pushing through the soil, reaching for the sun. Summer is lush and abundant, a time of growth and fullness. Autumn whispers of change, leaves turning gold and crimson before they fall. Winter is rest, quiet, a time to turn inward, to hibernate and dream. Each season has its purpose, its beauty, its lessons, and yet you often resist the cycles. You cling to spring, afraid of winter's chill. You mourn the falling leaves, forgetting that they must die to make way for new growth. And so, you are invited to accept not just the seasons of the earth, but the seasons of your own life. The mind is like a forest, dense and tangled, filled with shadows and light. Thoughts dart like birds, flitting from branch to branch, their songs sometimes melodious, sometimes harsh. Emotions rise like mist, shrouding the trees, obscuring your path. And yet the forest is not a place of danger. It is a place of life, of mystery, of discovery. When you walk through it with curiosity, with openness, you find that it holds treasures, insights, truths, moments of clarity. The forest does not need to be tamed. It does not need to be cleared. It simply needs to be witnessed, to be known. And so you are invited to explore, not to fix, not to change, but to see. You have been taught to strive, to achieve, to conquer. You have been told that happiness is something to be earned, something to be pursued. And yet the more you chase it, the more it eludes you. Happiness is not a destination. It is not a prize to be won. It is a state of being, a quality of presence. It is the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of laughter, the taste of fresh bread. It is the way the world feels when you are fully here, fully alive. And so you are invited to pause, not to stop, but to notice, to savor, to be. The universe is vast, its mysteries beyond comprehension. And yet it is also intimate, closer than your breath, more familiar than your own heartbeat. It is in the way your body knows how to heal, how to breathe, how to beat its own rhythm. It is in the way your heart knows how to love, even when it has been broken. It is in the way your soul knows how to return to itself again and again, no matter how far it strays. The universe is not separate from you. It is not something to be feared or worshipped. It is something to be lived, to be embodied. And so you are invited to remember, not as an intellectual exercise, but as a visceral knowing. There is a story in the Buddhist tradition about a monk who was chased by a tiger. He ran to the edge of a cliff where he found a vine growing. He grabbed the vine and began to climb down. But at the bottom, he saw another tiger waiting. Above him, the first tiger growled. Below him, the second tiger snarled. And then he noticed a wild strawberry growing on the cliff. He plucked it, ate it, and found it to be the most delicious strawberry he had ever tasted. The story is not about the tigers. It is not about the vine. It is about the strawberry. It is about the moment of presence, of joy, even in the midst of fear and uncertainty. And so you are invited to taste, not to escape, not to solve, but to savor. You carry within you a deep well of peace, a reservoir of stillness that cannot be disturbed. It is not something to be created, not something to be attained. It is something to be uncovered, to be returned to. When the world feels chaotic, when your mind feels restless, when your heart feels heavy, you can dip into this well. You can drink from its waters and find that they quench a thirst you did not know you had. The well is always there, always full, always waiting. And so you are invited to rest, not in the absence of struggle, but in the presence of peace. The universe knows what you need. It knows the path you are on, the lessons you are here to learn, the gifts you are here to share. It does not always give you what you want, but it always gives you what you need. And what you need is often simpler, softer, quieter than you imagine. It is not more effort, but more ease. It is not more control, but more surrender. It is not more striving, but more being. And so, you are invited to relax, not as a passive act, but as an act of trust, of alignment, of grace. You are part of the universe, and the universe is part of you. There is no separation, no distance, no division. When you struggle, the universe struggles with you. When you rest, the universe rests with you. When you are at peace, the universe is at peace with you. And so you are invited to soften, not to become weak, but to become open. to become whole. The universe is not something to be conquered. It is something to be lived, to be loved, to be known. And in this knowing, you find that you are already home. The world moves in rhythms you cannot always hear, in patterns you cannot always see. There is a quiet hum beneath the surface of things, a melody that plays without ceasing, even when you feel out of tune. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a vast forest, the trees towering above you, their leaves whispering secrets to the wind. The forest does not hurry, nor does it pause. It simply is. And in its being, there is a profound lesson. To let go of the need to control, to surrender to the flow of life as it moves through you, around you, within you. You have walked through seasons of your own making, springs of hope, summers of abundance, autumns of letting go, and winters of stillness. Yet have you noticed how the forest does not cling to its leaves when autumn comes? It does not resist the frost, nor does it despair when the ground hardens beneath its roots. It trusts the cycles, knowing that spring will return, that life will unfurl again in ways both familiar and new. There is a river that runs through you, though you may not always feel its current. It carries the silt of your past, the clarity of your present, and the promise of your future. Sometimes you try to dam it, to divert its flow, to make it fit the shape you think it should take. But the river knows its path. It carves its way through stone, softens the edges of resistance, and finds its way to the sea. What if you stopped trying to bend it to your will? What if you allowed yourself to float, to trust that the current knows where it is going? The universe is vast, and yet it holds you in its embrace. It does not demand that you understand its workings, only that you trust in its wisdom. Think of the stars scattered across the night sky, each one a tiny point of light in an infinite expanse. They do not strive to shine brighter than their neighbors. They do not question their place in the cosmos. They simply exist, and in their existence, they remind you of something essential. You are enough exactly as you are. You have carried burdens that were never yours to hold. The weight of expectations, the fear of failure, the ache of unmet desires. These are not the essence of who you are. They are like clouds passing across the sun, temporary and insubstantial. Beneath them, there is a light that never dims, a stillness that never wavers. It is the part of you that knows without doubt that you are whole, even when you feel broken. There is a garden within you, though it may have been neglected for too long. The soil is rich, but it requires patience to cultivate. You cannot force the seeds to grow, nor can you rush the blooms to open. You can only tend to the garden with care, pulling out the weeds of doubt and fear, watering it with kindness and compassion. And when the flowers finally emerge, they will do so in their own time, in their own way. You have been taught to strive, to push, to achieve. But what if the greatest achievement is simply to be, to sit with yourself in the quiet moments, to listen to the heartbeat of your own life, to feel the breath moving in and out of your lungs? This is where peace begins. It is not something to be found outside of yourself, but something to be uncovered within. The world will continue to turn, the seasons will continue to change, and life will continue to unfold in ways you cannot predict. But you do not need to hold it all together. You do not need to have all the answers. You only need to trust that you are exactly where you are meant to be, that every step you take is part of a larger journey. There is a bird that sings outside your window, its voice clear and unburdened. It does not worry about tomorrow, nor does it dwell on yesterday. It sings because it is alive, because the song is within it, waiting to be released. You too have a song to sing, a melody that is yours alone. It does not need to be perfect or beautiful or profound. It only needs to be true. When you feel the weight of the world pressing down on you, remember this: you are not alone. You are part of something vast and interconnected, a tapestry woven from threads of light and shadow, joy and sorrow, beginnings and endings. And though you may not always see the pattern, though the design may sometimes feel chaotic, there is a harmony beneath it all, a rhythm that beats in time with your own heart. So take a deep breath. Feel the earth beneath your feet, the air filling your lungs, the life moving through you. You are here now, and that is enough. The universe knows what you need, even when you do not. It whispers to you in the rustle of leaves, in the ripple of water, in the stillness of the night. Listen, trust, let go. And in that letting go, you will find the peace you have been searching for. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a vast, silent forest. The trees stretch endlessly, their branches swaying gently in the breeze, as if whispering secrets to the sky. You step inside, and the world around you shifts. The air feels different here. Lighter, slower, almost sacred. There is no urgency, no need to rush. The forest does not hurry, yet it grows. The sun does not strain, yet it rises. And so, you begin to walk, letting your feet carry you deeper into this stillness. As you move, you notice the way the light filters through the canopy above, dappling the ground with patterns that shift and change with every step. It is a reminder of impermanence, how all things are in motion, even when they appear still. The leaves fall, not because they are forced, but because it is their time. The river flows, not because it is compelled, but because it is its nature. And you too are part of this ever-changing dance. You do not need to push or pull. You do not need to grasp or resist. You are already moving, already becoming. The forest is a mirror, reflecting back to you the truth of your own being. Here there is no separation between you and the world around you. The rustle of the leaves is your breath. The stillness of the trees is your mind. The vastness of the sky is your heart. And in this moment, you begin to feel it. The quiet knowing that everything is as it should be. There is no need to control, no need to fear. The universe, like the forest, knows what it is doing. It knows what you need, even when you do not. You pause by a small clearing where a single flower blooms in the shade. It is delicate, unassuming, yet it holds a kind of wisdom. It does not question its place in the world. It does not wonder if it is enough. It simply is. And in its being, it is perfect. You sit down beside it, letting its presence remind you of something you have always known but perhaps forgotten. You too are perfect in your being. You do not need to prove or become. You do not need to strive or achieve. You are enough exactly as you are. The forest hums around you, a symphony of life that has no beginning and no end. A bird calls out, its song echoing through the trees. It is not trying to be heard, it is simply expressing itself. And in that moment, you realize that your own voice, your own expression, is just as natural, just as essential. You do not need to force it. You do not need to hide it. Let it rise from within you, like a song, like a prayer. As you sit there, you begin to notice the sensations in your body, the rise and fall of your chest, the weight of your hands resting on your knees, the coolness of the earth beneath you. You are here, fully here, and there is a kind of peace in that. It is not the peace of absence, but the peace of presence. You are not trying to escape or avoid. You are simply allowing yourself to be, to feel, to exist. The forest does not judge. It does not tell you what to feel or how to be. It simply holds space for you, as it does for all things. And in that holding, you begin to soften. The tension in your shoulders releases. The tightness in your chest eases. You are not trying to let go. You are simply letting go. It happens naturally, like the falling of a leaf, like the setting of the sun. The light begins to fade, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. The day is ending, and with it, a chapter of your journey. But as you rise to leave, you carry something with you, a sense of stillness, a quiet knowing. The forest has whispered its wisdom to you, and you have listened. You do not need to hold on to it. You do not need to force it into words. It is enough to know that it is there, like a seed planted deep within you, waiting to bloom in its own time. As you walk back to the edge of the forest, you feel a shift within you. The world outside may be chaotic, uncertain, but you carry this stillness with you now. It is not something you have to find or create. It is something you simply allow. The universe knows what it is doing. It knows what you need. And in this knowing, there is a kind of freedom. You do not have to figure it all out. You do not have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You can relax, let go, and trust. The forest fades behind you, but its presence remains. It is a part of you now, just as you are a part of it. And as you step back into the world, you carry this truth with you. You are enough. You are held. You are loved. And in this love, there is no need to fear, no need to strive, no need to be anything other than what you already are. The sun sets and the stars begin to appear, one by one, like tiny reminders of the infinite. You look up, and for a moment, you feel it. The vastness of the universe, the interconnectedness of all things. You are a part of this vastness, this interconnectedness. You are not separate, you are not alone. And in this knowing, there is a deep, abiding peace. The night wraps around you, soft and gentle, like a blanket. You breathe in and you breathe out. The world continues to turn, and you continue to be. There is no need to rush, no need to force. Everything is unfolding as it should. And in this unfolding, there is a kind of magic, a quiet, unassuming magic that reminds you of who you are and always have been. You are here, you are now, and that is enough. Raslaptis. The air around you is still, as if holding its breath, waiting for you to exhale. You stand at the edge of a vast open meadow, the kind where the grass seems to sway not from the wind, but from the rhythm of the earth itself. Above you, the sky stretches endlessly, a canvas of soft blues and wisps of clouds that drift like thoughts across the mind. Here, in this moment, you are invited to pause, not to think, not to plan, not to strive, but simply to be. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, has already laid out the path before you, even if you cannot yet see it. It knows what you need, even when you do not. Can you trust it? There is a quiet truth that whispers through the rustling leaves of the ancient oaks, through the gentle ripples of a hidden stream, through the silent turning of the seasons. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. You are not here to control the river. You are here to flow with it. The currents may carry you through calm waters or turbulent rapids, but each bend, each eddy is part of the journey. Can you feel the water beneath you, cool and alive, cradling you as it moves? Can you let go of the need to steer, to force, to fight? The river knows where it is going, even if you do not, and so does the universe. Perhaps you have been carrying a weight, a burden of expectation or fear, a question that seems to have no answer. You have been trying to solve it, to fix it, to make it right. But what if there is nothing to fix? What if the question itself is not a problem, but an invitation? The universe does not demand that you have all the answers. It only asks that you show up, that you be present to the unfolding of your life. Like the trees that do not resist the changing of the seasons, you too can learn to embrace the cycles of your existence. The falling of leaves is not a failure. It is a letting go, a surrender to the wisdom of time. Can you allow yourself to fall, to trust that the spring will come again? There is a stillness within you, deeper than the noise of your thoughts, more ancient than the stories you tell yourself. It is the stillness of the mountains, unmoved by the passing of storms. It is the stillness of the stars, untroubled by the chaos of the world. This stillness is not something you need to create or achieve. It is already there, waiting for you to return to it. Like a traveler coming home, you can rest here in this quiet center of your being. The universe is not asking you to do more. It is inviting you to be more, to be fully, deeply, authentically yourself. Can you hear its call, soft as the rustle of leaves, steady as the turning of the earth? You may have been searching for something, happiness, peace, meaning, as if it were a treasure hidden somewhere outside of you. But what if what you seek is not out there, but within? What if the key to your contentment is not in changing your circumstances, but in changing your relationship to them? The universe does not promise that life will be easy, but it does promise that it will be whole. Every moment, every experience is part of the tapestry of your existence. The threads may be dark or light, rough or smooth, but together they create a pattern that is uniquely yours. Can you see the beauty in the weaving, even when the pattern is unclear? There is a rhythm to life, a pulse that beats beneath the surface of things. It is the rhythm of the tides, the rhythm of the seasons, the rhythm of your own heart. When you align yourself with this rhythm, you find a sense of ease, a flow that carries you without effort. You do not need to push or pull. You only need to move with the current. The universe is not asking you to struggle. It is inviting you to dance. Can you feel the music, the ancient song that has been playing since the beginning of time? Can you let yourself be carried by its melody? You are not separate from the universe. You are a part of it, as essential as the stars, as sacred as the earth. Your existence is not an accident. It is a gift. The universe has brought you here, to this moment, to this place, for a reason. It knows what you need, even when you do not. It sees the bigger picture, even when you cannot. Can you trust it? Can you trust yourself? The answers you seek are not out there. They are within you, waiting to be discovered. The universe is not a distant, indifferent force. It is a loving presence, a guiding hand, a quiet voice that whispers to you in the stillness of your heart. So take a deep breath and let it out slowly. Feel the weight of your body, the solidity of the ground beneath your feet. You are here now, exactly where you are meant to be. The universe is not asking you to do more. It is inviting you to be more, to be present, to be open, to be alive. The journey is not about arriving. It is about traveling, about experiencing, about being. Can you let go of the need to know, to control, to achieve? Can you simply be here, now, in this moment? The universe knows what you need, and so do you if you listen closely enough. The air is still, as if the world itself is holding its breath, waiting for you to exhale. Can you feel it? The quiet hum of existence, the gentle pulse of life that moves through all things, even when you're unaware. It is there, beneath the surface of your thoughts, beneath the weight of your worries, a current that carries you forward even when you feel stuck. You are not separate from this flow, though it may seem so in moments of tension when your mind clings to the illusion of control. But what if you let go? What if you allowed yourself to sink into the soft embrace of the present, trusting that the universe knows what you need, even when you do not? Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a vast forest, the trees stretching endlessly before you. Each tree is a moment in your life, rooted in the soil of experience, reaching toward the light of possibility. Some are tall and strong, their branches heavy with the fruit of your efforts. Others are young and tender, still finding their place in the canopy. And some are fallen, their leaves returning to the earth, nourishing the ground for what is to come. This is the cycle of life, the rhythm of growth and decay, of beginnings and endings. You cannot force a tree to grow faster, nor can you stop it from falling when its time has come. And yet you are not powerless. You can tend to the soil, you can water the roots, you can stand in the sunlight and breathe. You can trust that the forest knows how to grow, even when you cannot see the path ahead. There is a quiet wisdom in the way nature moves, a wisdom that does not rush, does not force, does not resist. The river does not fight against its banks. It flows around them, carving its path with patience and persistence. The seasons do not cling to the past. They surrender to the inevitable, knowing that winter will always give way to spring. And the stars do not strive to shine brighter. They simply are, their light a reminder of the vastness of the cosmos. Can you see yourself in this? Can you feel the truth of your own nature, The part of you that is already at peace, already whole, already enough? You may wonder how to find this peace, how to let go of the tension that grips your body and mind. But peace is not something you find. It is something you remember. It is the stillness beneath the storm, the silence beneath the noise, the space between your thoughts. It is the part of you that knows, without needing to think, that everything is as it should be. This knowing is not intellectual, it is visceral, a deep-seated trust in the unfolding of life. It is the feeling you have when you watch a sunset, when you hold a sleeping child, when you stand in the presence of something greater than yourself. It is the feeling of being held, of being loved, of being part of something vast and beautiful. And yet there are moments when this feeling eludes you, when the weight of the world seems too heavy to bear. In these moments, it is easy to forget, to lose sight of the truth that lies within you. But even in the darkest night, the stars are still there. Their light a reminder that the universe is vast and mysterious, that there is more to life than what you can see or understand. You do not need to have all the answers. You do not need to know how everything will turn out. You only need to trust that the universe is working in your favor, even when it feels like it is not. Think of a seed buried deep in the earth. It does not know when it will sprout, or how it will grow, or what challenges it will face. And yet it does not resist the process. It does not try to force its way to the surface before it is ready. It simply waits, trusting that the soil will nourish it, that the rain will come, that the sun will shine. And when the time is right, it begins to grow, slowly at first, then with increasing strength and confidence. You are like that seed, waiting for the right moment to emerge, to grow, to bloom. You do not need to rush the process. You do not need to force yourself to be something you are not. You only need to trust that the universe knows what you need, and that it will provide it in its own time. There is a kind of surrender in this trust, a letting go of the need to control, to manipulate, to force. It is not a passive surrender, but an active one, a choice to align yourself with the flow of life rather than against it. It is the choice to breathe deeply, to soften your grip, to open your heart. It is the choice to see the beauty in the present moment, even when it is not what you expected or wanted. It is the choice to accept what is, without judgment, without resistance, without fear. And in this acceptance, there is freedom. Freedom from the need to be perfect, to be in control, to be anything other than what you are. Freedom to be human, to make mistakes, to learn and grow. Freedom to love and be loved, to give and receive, to live and let live. This freedom is not something you earn or achieve. It is something you allow, something you embrace. It is the natural state of your being, the truth of who you are. So take a moment to breathe. Feel the air moving in and out of your body, the rhythm of life that sustains you. Feel the ground beneath your feet, the solidity of the earth that supports you. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, the light that nourishes you. And know that you are part of something greater, something vast and beautiful, something that knows what you need even when you do not. You are not alone. You are not lost. You are exactly where you're meant to be. And everything is unfolding as it should. Imagine for a moment standing at the edge of a vast forest. The trees stretch endlessly before you, their branches swaying in a rhythm known only to the wind. Beneath your feet, the earth feels solid and ancient, as though it has carried the weight of countless lives before yours. And yet, there is a stillness here, a quietude that invites you to pause, to breathe, to simply be. This forest, like life itself, is both vast and intimate, a tapestry of moments woven together by threads of time. It asks nothing of you but your presence. It does not demand that you understand its mysteries, only that you allow yourself to exist within them. You may feel at times as though you are separate from this flow, as though you must struggle against the current to find your way. But the truth is, you are already part of it. The forest does not resist the wind. It bends and yields, and in that yielding, it finds its strength. The river does not fight against the rocks. It flows around them, shaping them over centuries with its gentle persistence. And so too can you find ease by surrendering to the natural rhythm of existence. This is not a call to passivity, but an invitation to trust. To trust that the universe, in its infinite wisdom, knows what you need, even when you do not. Consider the seasons. They move in their own time, indifferent to our desires. Winter does not linger because we long for its beauty, nor does summer hasten its arrival to ease our impatience. Each season arrives when it is ready and departs when its work is done. And yet there is a perfection in this cycle, a harmony that emerges from its unyielding flow. You too are part of this cycle. Your life has its winters and its summers, its moments of growth and its moments of rest. Can you allow yourself to be as you are, without judgment, without resistance? Can you trust that, like the seasons, you are unfolding exactly as you should? There is a story in Buddhist teachings of a monk who sought enlightenment by meditating under a tree. Day after day, he sat in stillness, waiting for the moment of awakening. But no matter how hard he tried, the moment did not come. Frustrated, he finally rose to leave, only to trip over a rock and fall to the ground. In that moment, as he lay on the earth, he laughed. Not at the absurdity of his fall, but at the realization that he had been searching for something he already possessed. Enlightenment was not something to be achieved. It was something to be remembered. It was the quiet awareness that had been with him all along, obscured only by his striving. Perhaps you too have been searching for something. Peace, happiness, fulfillment. Perhaps you have been chasing it tirelessly, only to find it slipping through your fingers like sand. But what if you already have what you seek? What if the peace you long for is not a destination, but a state of being? What if happiness is not something to be found, but something to be recognized within yourself? These questions are not meant to lead you to an answer, but to invite you to pause, to look inward, to see what is already there. There is a quiet space within you, a place untouched by the chaos of the world. It is not something you must create, it is something you must return to. It is the stillness at the center of the storm, the calm beneath the surface of the ocean. This space is always available to you, but it can only be found in moments of surrender. It is not a place you can force yourself into. It is a place you can only allow yourself to enter. And so, the practice is not one of effort, but of letting go, of releasing the grip of your thoughts, the tension in your body, the weight of your expectations. Imagine yourself as a leaf floating on a stream. The stream carries you effortlessly, without any need for you to direct its course. You do not need to fight against the current, nor do you need to push yourself forward. The stream knows where it is going, and it will take you there in its own time. All you need to do is relax, to let the water support you, to trust in its flow. This is not a metaphor for passivity, but for trust. It is an acknowledgement that you do not need to control everything, that you can find peace by surrendering to the natural order of things. There are moments in life when everything seems to fall into place, as though the universe has aligned itself to meet your needs. And there are moments when everything feels disjointed, as though the world is working against you. But these are not opposites. They are two sides of the same coin. The universe is not conspiring for or against you. It is simply unfolding as it must. The challenge then is not to change the unfolding, but to change your relationship to it. Can you meet each moment with openness, with curiosity, with acceptance? Can you see the perfection in the imperfection, the beauty in the chaos? There is a Zen saying, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. The difference is not in the action, but in the awareness. Enlightenment does not change the world, it changes how you see the world. It is the realization that you do not need to escape your life to find peace. You can find peace within your life. It is the understanding that every moment is sacred, not because of what it contains, but because of how you choose to meet it. And so, as you stand at the edge of the forest, as you feel the earth beneath your feet and the wind on your skin, remember this: you are not separate from the flow of life. You are not a stranger in this world, but an integral part of its unfolding. The peace you seek is not something to be found. It is something to be remembered. The happiness you long for is not something to be achieved. It is something to be recognized. And the universe in its infinite wisdom already knows what you need. All you need to do is relax, to trust, to allow yourself to be carried by the stream. Imagine for a moment that you are standing at the edge of a vast, open meadow. The air is soft, carrying the faint scent of wildflowers and earth. The sun hangs low in the sky, casting a golden hue over the landscape. You feel the gentle breeze brush against your skin, and for a brief moment, you are not thinking about what you need to do next, or what you should have done differently. You are simply here, present, breathing. This is the essence of relaxation, not the absence of effort, but the presence of ease. It is the understanding that, like the meadow, life unfolds in its own time, in its own way. You do not need to force it. You do not need to control it. You only need to witness it, to be with it. The universe in its infinite wisdom knows what you need. It knows the rhythm of your heart, the depth of your desires, the weight of your fears. It knows the seasons of your life, the winters of stillness, the springs of renewal, the summers of abundance, the autumns of letting go. And yet so often, you resist this natural flow. You cling to what you think should be, rather than accepting what is. You tighten your grip on the reins of your life, believing that if you just try harder, plan better, or worry more, you can steer yourself toward happiness. But happiness is not a destination you can reach through force. It is a state of being that arises when you release the need to control, when you trust the unfolding of your life as you would trust the turning of the seasons. Consider the way a tree grows. It does not strain to reach the sun. It does not fret over the direction of its branches. It simply grows, rooted in the earth, reaching toward the light. It does not question whether it is growing fast enough or whether it is growing in the right way. It trusts the process. It trusts the soil, the rain, the sun. And in this trust, it finds its strength, its beauty, its purpose. You too are like this tree. You are rooted in the universe, nourished by its wisdom, guided by its light. You do not need to force your growth. You only need to trust the process, to allow yourself to be as you are, to grow as you will. There is a deep peace that comes from this trust, from this acceptance. It is the peace of knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, even if it does not feel like it in the moment. It is the peace of understanding that life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. You do not need to have all the answers. You do not need to know what will happen next. You only need to be here now, open to the possibilities that each moment holds. Think of the way a river flows. It does not resist the rocks in its path. It does not fight against the banks that contain it. It simply flows, moving around obstacles, carving its way through the landscape. It does not judge the rocks as good or bad, the banks as right or wrong. It accepts them as they are, and in this acceptance, it finds its freedom. You too can find freedom in acceptance. You can let go of the need to judge your circumstances, to label them as good or bad, to wish they were different. You can simply be with them as they are, trusting that they are part of the flow of your life, part of the journey that is leading you to where you need to be. This does not mean that you will never feel pain or that you will never face challenges. It means that you can meet these experiences with a sense of openness, of curiosity, of compassion. You can see them not as obstacles to your happiness, but as opportunities for growth, for understanding, for transformation. You can allow yourself to feel what you feel, without judgment, without resistance. You can let the river of your emotions flow through you, knowing that it will not drown you, that it will not define you, that it is simply a part of the ever-changing landscape of your life. There is a profound wisdom in this way of being. It is the wisdom of the heart, the wisdom of the soul. It is the understanding that you are not separate from the universe, but a part of it, a thread in the vast tapestry of existence. You are not alone in your journey. You are supported, guided, held by the same force that moves the stars, that shapes the mountains, that breathes life into the world. You do not need to carry the weight of your life on your shoulders. You can rest in the knowledge that the universe is carrying you, that it is working through you, that it is leading you to where you need to be. This is not a passive way of living. It is not about giving up or about resigning yourself to fate. It is about surrendering to the flow of life, about aligning yourself with the natural rhythm of the universe. It is about letting go of the need to control, to manipulate, to force. It is about trusting that you are exactly where you need to be, that you are exactly who you need to be, that you are exactly what you need to be. It is about finding peace in the present moment, in the here and now, in the simple act of being. So, take a deep breath. Feel the air fill your lungs, the life force that connects you to the universe. Feel the ground beneath your feet, the earth that supports you, that holds you. Feel the sun on your skin, the light that nourishes you, that guides you. And know that you are exactly where you need to be. Know that the universe is working through you, that it is leading you to where you need to go. Know that you do not need to force anything, to control anything, to worry about anything. You only need to be here, now, open to the possibilities that each moment holds. This is the essence of relaxation. It is the essence of trust. It is the essence of peace. It is the understanding that you are not separate from the universe, but a part of it, a thread in the vast tapestry of existence. It is the knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, that you are exactly who you need to be, that you are exactly what you need to be. It is the acceptance of life as it is, the surrender to the flow of the universe, the trust in the journey that is unfolding before you. So let go. Let go of the need to control, to manipulate, to force. Let go of the need to judge, to label, to resist. Let go of the need to know, to understand, to figure it all out. Let go and simply be. Be here now, in this moment, in this place. Be open to the possibilities that each moment holds. Be trusting of the journey that is unfolding before you. Be at peace with the flow of life, with the rhythm of the universe, with the wisdom of your heart. Be and know that you are exactly where you need to be. Be and know that the universe is working through you, that it is leading you to where you need to go. Be and know that you are exactly who you need to be, that you are exactly what you need to be. Be and know that you are enough. Be and know that you are loved. Be and know that you are free. The air around you is soft, like the breath of a sleeping child, and the world hums with a quiet rhythm, as if it knows something you have yet to fully grasp. You sit, perhaps on a cushion, perhaps on the earth itself, and you feel the weight of your body sinking into the ground, as though the planet is cradling you, whispering, rest. You are held. The trees sway gently, their leaves rustling like pages of an ancient book, and you wonder if they are telling you a story you've forgotten, the story of how to simply be. You've carried so much, thoughts, worries, plans, regrets, like stones in a sack slung over your shoulder. You've walked far with this burden, believing it was necessary, believing it was yours to carry. But here in this moment, the sack feels heavier than ever, and you wonder if it's time to set it down. Not to discard it, not to deny its existence, but to place it gently at your feet, to see it for what it is, a collection of moments, some sharp, some smooth, all part of the riverbed of your life. The river flows on regardless of the stones. It does not stop to mourn them or to celebrate them. It simply moves, carving its path with a quiet persistence. You think of the river and you wonder if you could be like it, fluid, unburdened, trusting in the direction of the current. The river does not question its course. It does not resist the rocks or the bends. It does not cling to the banks or fear the ocean. It simply is, and in its being, it finds its way. You too are part of this flow, though it may not always feel that way. You've been taught to fight the current, to swim against it, to prove your strength. But what if strength lies not in resistance, but in surrender? What if the universe, like the river, knows where it's taking you, even when you do not? The wind picks up and you feel it on your skin, cool and alive. It carries with it the scent of earth and rain, and you are reminded that change is the only constant. The seasons turn, the leaves fall, the snow melts, and the flowers bloom again. You've seen this cycle 1,000 times, yet you still resist it in your own life. You cling to what is familiar, even when it no longer serves you. You fear the unknown, even when it holds the promise of growth. But the wind does not fear where it is going. It moves freely, unburdened by the past, unafraid of the future. It simply is, and in its being, it carries the seeds of new life. You close your eyes and breathe deeply, feeling the rise and fall of your chest. Each breath is a reminder that you are alive, that you are part of this vast, interconnected web of existence. You do not need to control it. You do not need to understand it. You only need to be present with it. The universe is not something separate from you. It is you and you are it. The stars that light the night sky are the same elements that make up your bones. The water that flows in the rivers is the same water that flows in your veins. You are not a stranger in this world. You are home. You think of the Buddha sitting beneath the Bodhi tree, his mind still, his heart open. He did not seek enlightenment through force or struggle. He found it through acceptance, through letting go of the need to control, through trusting in the natural order of things. He saw that suffering arises from attachment, from the desire to hold on to what is fleeting, from the fear of losing what we love. But he also saw that peace is always available, always present, like the sky behind the clouds. You do not need to create it. You only need to uncover it, to let it shine through. You open your eyes and look around you. The world is still here, just as it was before, but something feels different. The colors are brighter, the sounds clearer, the air sweeter. It's as though a veil has been lifted, and you are seeing with new eyes. You realize that this moment, this breath, this heartbeat is all there is. The past is gone, the future is not yet here. All that exists is now, and now is enough. You do not need to chase after happiness. You do not need to strive for perfection. You only need to be here, fully, completely, with an open heart and a quiet mind. The sun begins to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, and you feel a sense of peace settle over you, like a warm blanket on a cold night. You know that this peace is not permanent, that it will ebb and flow like the tides, but for now it is here, and that is enough. You do not need to hold on to it. You do not need to fear its passing. You only need to be with it, to let it fill you, to let it remind you of who you are. You are not your thoughts. You are not your worries. You are not your past or your future. You are the awareness that observes all of these things, the stillness beneath the noise, the light behind the clouds. You are the river flowing effortlessly. You are the wind moving freely. You are the sun shining brightly. You are the universe unfolding perfectly. And in this knowing, you find a deep, abiding peace. You do not need to do anything. You do not need to be anything. You only need to be. The stars begin to appear, one by one, like tiny lanterns lighting the way. You look up and feel a sense of wonder, a sense of connection. You are part of something vast, something infinite, something beautiful. And in this moment, you realize that you are exactly where you need to be. The universe knows what you need, even when you do not. It has always known, and it will always guide you if you let it. So relax, trust, be. The rest will take care of itself.